just feel miserable. Those other guys did so well. I couldn't do it. It didn't click. I couldn't get it together. I just could not match the words to the music. And now Marcia Gears is going to be mad at me. She's going to scream at me. What's the matter with you? Don't you do anything right? Can't you do anything? And on top of that, that girl will never go out with me.
I'm glad they put me here because I don't have to follow that act. What we're going to do is read a couple stories out of a little newspaper. And we have one person sitting here who's very familiar with this. Evan tells me he's seen the Dune Press before. Started in 1872. Has lots of little stories in it about Hollanders. People who can speak some Dutch, some English, and some Yankee Dutch. So we have a couple and two stories. First one is on a trip to Hawaii. Now you gotta remember, this guy and his wife are from New Holland, South Dakota. They've never been in an airplane, and they've never been to Hawaii. Jake and Gert. Here's the story. By golly, I've got something big for you. Me and Gert, we're going to Hawaii. One time my best friend, he is Tunis van der Winkant, he say, Jacob, where have you been in this whole miserable life? And I say, yeah, Sioux Falls, South Dakota once. 2 times to Minneapolis to see Henrietta and the kids, to Sioux Center, Orange City to the courthouse, and Dune, and to Freeman, South Dakota to hear a terrific quartet. That old boy, he laughed so hard he almost spit out his tour teeth. Jacob, he say, you're going to lift it up, boy. You and Gert and me and Johanna, we go to Hawaii. And we get a drink apricot brandy in the Kanban before we go. That night after supper, I said, I tell Ma, I know not how she'd take Ma. Johanna had her up the telephone and called her already. And oh, is her sister jealous. Then Gert, she get a funny look and she say, Jake, you must get new underwear for the trip. And in pajamas. And I say, oh no, I've had the same old stuff year after year. Ma, I do plan to buy 2 new overalls and 2 white shirts to match for this special occasion. Then I wear that old blue suit coat with the red tie, and we'll be all ready for the high bugs. Maybe getting a pair of cowboy boots? I like them so. Ma, she the tight one. She say, Jake, that trip costs too awful much. Pretty soon it's spread all over New Holland and Corsica that we go to Hawaii. And Elder Brummel come and he say that money could better go to Kingdom Cause. them liberal suckers in Greenland. I let them brown. Then another man come in that church and say, Jake, you go make some fun, but be careful for those hula girls. I tell Ma nothing of that. And pretty soon we be at the airport in Sioux Falls. Tunis, he is an awful jolly time, and I think he's been in the barn again. And he found a brandy, I'm sure. I do what Tunis do. Pretty soon they herd us into that big airplane and we sit close, and then that lady say, strap in yourself like a baby. Then she tell us that if the airplane don't make it, then I get awful nervous. Then I hear an awful roar. Up, 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 that plane go, like a bird. And I look out the window, and my belly started to shake. And I hollered at the lady, quick, where's the can? She said, that is not a can, that is a laboratory. And I get there just in time. What an outfit, I can't even turn around. I sleep in a little while, and that seat, Ma, is not so good. Pretty soon I get hungry, and I grab Ma for a dried beef sandwich and a cup of tea. That was smartly. Pretty soon that airplane come down in Los Angeles, California. Then we wait a little while to get on another big plane. I look outside a little while and I see palm trees. That is nice. Then while we wait inside, I back into the secret door and a loud bell goes off and a policeman he come and turn it off, and Ma was so nervous and red in the face and she was mad at me. Oh, what a big airplane. Goodness sake, that's a 747. He make a terrible roar. Up, up, up he go, and pretty soon we get brave and look out the window. I say to Tunis, what is that down there? He said, that's the ocean, Jake. The Pacific Ocean. And I say, no tell about that. Then Tunis, he laugh it off. We got funny dinner on the airplane. Then they show a godless movie. I go to sleep, mine go hand in a net, Tunis is with it, Corset says, and he's talking loud. Oh, that was a long ride. And pretty soon we come down and that lady say, welcome to Honolulu. What a big airport. And all that air around us. And those palm trees, and people with flat faces. Ma, that outfit scared me, and I tell Tunes to do the talking. Good, and Johanna, they was all red in the face, and they looked dumb. Tunes, he's a bold one, you know. We get on a big bus, and they drive us to that place, Waikiki Beach. Golly, pot for Doty, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Hotels all over, and so much worldliness. I was glad Elder Brummel was not here. Now pretty soon they dump us off at the big hotel, and a man in a funny suit take us up on an elevator and stop on 32. That means 32 rooms up in the air. Think, 32. Ma, she flopped in the bed. Never was she so tired. And I look out that window once, and I see the ocean, the tall buildings, and some pigeons in the air. Then I hit the bed. I worry that I see some girls right away, and I sleep. End of story. Next story. This is a letter from Jake. And it's regarding the fact that he would like to serve in the church council, but he's never been nominated. That week was just went by, I was very happy. But now I'm as mad as a bull. Let me tell you the story. In the first place, I'd be happy. For a long time I wanted to be a deacon in my church. Never my name came up. Deacon Jacob Abraham Van Meatweeken, think that not a nice sounding name? Well, one day, 2 elders, they come to the farm. Gert was so nervous right away. What the elders want, she said. I keep my cool. We take them guys into the dining area and give them a good drink of coffee, some homemade bread and dried beef, and one of Gert's St. Nicholas cookies. Then they come right out with it. Jake, they say, we have nominated you for the high office of deacon. What you say? I look down the ground and say, I am not worthy. I do my best. I think I say the right thing because Elder Grummel, who never smiles much, smiled just a little bit. Then he leaves. Right away, Gert make big plans. I buy a new dress for the special occasion, she say. And she thinks she know why we call Gert by them snooty ladies in town instead of Mrs. Emegan. We're in great honor for the deacon's wife. She also thinks that now get in big with a Jufrau and invite to the parsonage for coffee classes. Then she say, Jake, I think we should get rid of that old, rattly old pickup and buy a new black Buick. That lady go crazy, I say. Women count the chicks before they hatch. To tell the truth, I was pretty excited. Ook. How can not, I said to myself. Jacob, Deacon, Jacob, that feels so good. Then I get a host of ideas. Where come all these ideas, I know not. I sit down at the kitchen table and I make a list of all the things I want to change when I get to be deacon in that big church. First, we go back to the good old Dutch language. Not all the time, but one time every month. That is not too much, I say. If Dutch was good for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then it is good enough for me and the other folks. I like that collection getting with the sack on the pole. That way, the good books say, the left hand does not know what the right hand do. And look, no more than fancy weddings. And when the organ player, she must wear a long sleeve dress right up to the neck. Oh, and no more ladies wear the pants in the church. I liken the old ways, and I think the consistory must walk in together with the dominie and stand for a while, look over the congregation, and then all up for a long prayer and sit together. That is proper respect. And I like them little communion, not like those little communion cups. I think it is proper to drink in the real wine but in big mug. Look, I like that, you see, business. That I bring out. And too fast singing, I like that not in church either. I like not all them new liberal things on those big shots in Grand Rapids, that love and stuff. And nice to them rotten crisps, make me sick. It is better to dominate knock them down good. That's what we need. I like not them nurseries for them brat kids either. And I kick them lady sage cells out as well. I showed the list to Gert and she said, yeah, that's nice, Jake, but you must add 2 things. First, a special place for the ladies to sit. And second, a place for the deacons to park. Now come the bad part. And 2 elders come back. And they look so awful. Yet they say, we have off scratched your name for a deacon. And delegation come to the consistory, and they protest the nomination. They say that on the trip to Hawaii, you and Gert saw an godless movie on the airplane. And on Sunday too yet. Good, she'd cry and then she'd get mad and kick the elders out of the house. I go to Tunis Van Veen camp and I tell the whole story. Ha! Say Tunis, there ain't nothing of that. That whole business is crooked. They put you up against that big windbag overboarder. That is the man they do want, not you. They make you a black horse, and you lose anyhow. That is how crooked this business is. Ma, I feel not so good. That I tell you.
The menu says a reading, but that's not really right. I'm going to be doing a talking. And the subject of my speech tonight is, this is an exercise in exegesis. We have had 50 years, we've just been done with a Jubilee celebration at Ridgewood. 50 years, and we've had, in that time, 2,600 sermons that we've heard from tremendous ministers and pastors and preachers. Every one of those preachers have used a process called exegesis in opening up the Word and finding lessons and things that we have to live by in that Word. The Definition of exegesis is a Greek word meaning to explain, to seek critical analysis, or interpretation of a word or literary passage. And that's what I have been working on intensively for a tremendous amount of time. I have done intensive, in-depth study and research into exegesis, and I would like to demonstrate that to you tonight. The only way that we can really get into this is to get into the study of exegesis.
And I'm going to tell you right now that you have never heard anything like this before in your life, and you never will again.
Thank you, Bernie Sanders. Yes, what we're going to hear tonight is unique in the annals of homiletics. Now, what the passage I've chosen for you tonight is one that you all know and love. It's strictly a passage that is a young children's story, and you all know it. Your grandparents knew it, your great-grandparents knew it, your children know it, your grandchildren know it. It is the little story of Little Bo Peep. Now, Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them, but leave them alone and they'll come home wagging their tails behind them. Only 27 words, but as you will see, filled with meaning and lessons for us all. You can quit counting now. There are 27 words. And we're going to do this in good Calvinistic fashion, in three, what's the word I'm looking for? Yes. First point, who is Bo Peep? Number 2, what happened to Bo Peep? Number 3, what lessons do we learn from this experience? Number 1, who is Bo Peep? Bo, a very generic name, is it not? We don't know if Bo is a boy or a girl from the name. Could be Bartholomew or Barbara, we don't know. When we look into this passage, we read that Bo has lost her sheep. So we know that Bo is a girl. And we know that she is little, don't we? So, but it doesn't tell us if she is young in age or small in stature. But she isn't a very little, tiny child because she has the responsibility of tending to her sheep. And she can't be an adult probably because you can't make enough money tending sheep to subsist. So she is probably a teenager. Now you ask, why would a teenager what does she do on sheep? Well, obviously, from my intensive investigation into this matter, she is a member of the 4-H club at her school. And the kids in 4-H raise animals to show at the county fair. And if she won a blue ribbon and made some money, she could sell her sheep and she could help pay off her Christian school tuition. Yes, don't you love it? Okay, now, Bo Peep has lost her sheep. These are her sheep. She owns them, not her mother, not her father, not her sister, nor her brother. These are her sheep, don't we know? Now, we also know that Bo is a farm girl. She lives out in the country. After all, you don't raise sheep in the city, do you? Unless you're in Cairo or Addis Ababa or some Arab country where they have sheep and goats for sale on every street corner. No, she lives out in the country. She is used to the solitude of the country. And she is quite a quiet young lady. And she is not, of course, this is written maybe 200 years ago, long before cars and airplanes and TV and computers and all this stuff. So she lives a very simple life. And so, therefore, she is probably a very soft-spoken, introverted young lady, and hence her last name is Peep. Don't you love it? Yes, she is a soft-spoken, shy, timid young lady, maybe even a little bit sheepish. And Bart DeYoung, duet, you say? That is bad. Thank you, Bart. We did not rehearse this at all, but I know the funny, cunning mind of Bart DeYoung. Okay, now, we know a little bit about Bo Peep. Our second point. What happened to Bo Peep? Very simply, and it's very simple in this passage, she lost her sheep. We don't know if they were driven away by storm or doves, anything like that. It doesn't say anything about that. No, she lost her sheep. She did something that contributed to their lostness, don't you see? Now, what was that? Well, she could have been down by the creek catching tadpoles, or flying a kite, or whatever else she could do, reading a book, or sleeping. That's about probably what happened. And, you know, we concur, other peepists like me concur in the following scenario. That why was she sleeping? Because the night before, she and her 4-H buddies had had a slumber party. And young ladies at slumber parties don't slumber nor sleep. They sit up all night and talk and laugh and play the gramophone 200 years ago and eat pizza. No. Pizza 200 years ago in America? No, I don't think so. It was just plain old ham buns with green jello salad and crushed pineapple and carrots on it. Some of you can relate to this. How old are you? Okay, now, we know that Bo was tired and she was sleepy, she was whipped, but she still had the responsibility of herding her sheep, don't you see? But her sheep were safely grazing nearby. The warm sun was inviting a wafting wind, a little breeze over the meadow, and the grass was tall and soft. She wanted to take a nap. That's exactly what she did. And what she did is even mentioned in the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 10. Just a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. It's in the book. Read it. That is what she did. Now, her little nap turned into a deep sleep, and pretty soon the sheep munched their way across the meadow behind a grove of trees, and it got cloudy and it got cool, and she woke up and she jumped around and she exclaimed in her little peep voice, "Alas and alack, I've lost my sheep and I don't know where to find them." Now, we have come to the first of 3 what I would call redundancies. What is something that is redundant? It's more than enough, excess, superfluous, using more words that are needed. Now, she's lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. If they're lost, of course you don't know where to find them. If you don't know where to find them, they wouldn't be lost, would they? No, redundancy, I say. Excess wordage. Verbiage. And the following, the second one is just beside it. She's lost her sheep, doesn't know where to find them, leave them alone. If they're lost, you have to leave them alone, don't you? Yes, it's redundancy. You don't have to say all that, whether or know that. And we go on to the next one. You leave them alone and they'll come home. That's exactly what happened. But not before. Bo was just beside herself. She was right here, beside herself with worry, with angst. She was guilty of not watching her sheep. She was not vigilant. What was she to do? She thought, maybe they ran home. She ran home. They weren't there. Her anguish and her worry doubled her feelings of guilt. She had sinned the sin of omission. She had not been watching until she heard bells. And she lifted up her eyes to the hills, and from whence came her sheep. And down the trail, single file. She was ecstatic. She was just overjoyed. Her sheep were safely home. Her sheep were happy to see her too, don't you see? How do we know that? They were wagging their tail. Yes. Now, when you come home from work and your little puppy dog comes chasing down the driveway, is he happy to see you? Yes. His tail is going 1,000 RPM back there, like a little propeller. Yes, those sheep were happy to see her. Now, we're just about to the end of our passage of study, but we come to one more redundancy. Her sheep were wagging their tails behind them. Ladies and gentlemen, brethren and sisters, have you ever seen an animal wag its tail in front of them? No. They're mounted in the rear. That's from whence they must be wagged, don't you see? Okay, now we're done with our passage of study, and we'll come to our third point. Third point. What message, what do we learn from this experience? Well, in reverse order. Number one, avoid redundancy in your life. Don't do anything that doesn't need to be done. In other words, keep life simple, keep it clean. Like my workshop in the basement. Everything is in its place. Except sometimes I forget where those places are. But avoid redundancy in your life. Number two, Bo Peep lost her sheep because she fell asleep. She was not vigilant. She was not watchful. She did not keep an eye open, keep an eye out. Shoulder to the grindstone. No, that's another thing. She was not vigilant. So the lesson here is everything you do, at home, at school, at work, at play, on vacation, be vigilant, lest harm befall you as it did our friend Bo. Number three, Bo Peep fell asleep and lost her sheep. Now folks, this is a biggie. This is huge. Yet it is profound in its simplicity. Are you ready? Who else says that? The profoundly simple lesson here is, if you snooze, you lose. Jesus at its finest, I tell you. Okay, quickly recap. Don't clutter your life with unnecessary things, and be vigilant, and don't go to sleep on the job. I'll close with the words of a master theologian, a master exegetologist, who closed many of his sermons saying, "Be sure you do."
loss and sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. The place where he was born and raised. For 6 long years I've been in trouble. No treasure here on earth I've found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now. He's got no friends to help him now. It's fairly well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again. For I'm about to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon this train. Perhaps he'll die upon this train. You can bury me in Sunny Valley for many years where I may lay. Pray and you may learn to love another while I am sleeping in my grave. While he is sleeping in his grave. Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. Meet you on God's golden shore.
Hello?
Dr. Alphonse?
Yeah, this is Dr. Alphonse.
This is your neighbor, Mrs. Moeller.
Oh, yes, I remember you.
I'm having quite a problem tonight. I've got this terrible toothache. Do you think you can help me out?
Yeah, even though I'm retired, I think I've got enough of the dental equipment at home here. If you just come on over, I can help you out. We'll take a look at it.
Okay, I'll be there shortly. It's Saturday night, you know, and I'm kind of ready for bed, but would that be all right if I come over?
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Okay, I'll be there shortly.
Very good.
Boy, I better slip on something a little more comforting or so.
That's better. Come on in, come on in.
Oh, thank you.
Let me help you. Hand me your walker and I'll help you.
I'm in such pain, you know.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you just sit here in my mom's chair? We'll use that as a demo chair.
And the lazy boy?
In the lazy boy.
Woo!
Well, first of all, I have to see if I've got the right. Let me look at that tooth first. Oh, boy.
It hurts so bad. I just don't know. That was so bright.
Yeah, let me take a look. Ooh, my oh my. That is a pretty bad one. I think we're going to have to pull it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It won't ruin my beauty, will it?
No, your beauty will be okay. We'll probably get rid of this lump.
Well, that would be a good thing.
Yeah. Let me see if I've got the right equipment. No, I guess maybe that won't work.
Boy, maybe I wasn't that light. But I tell you, these dentist tools look larger than life.
Well, let me try this one. Nah, that'll break your jaw with that one.
I think you can fix it, Dr.
Oh,
All
we can fix it. We can fix it. I mean, don't worry. Let me see. Yeah, all right. We'll keep that one aside.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry I look at such a sight, but you know tomorrow's Sunday. And I got my hair all fixed, ready for church. So,
Take it. Look at that. That's a book. Well, let's see. Novocaine. Oh yeah, Novocaine. It says, first they'll give a little pain, and then they'll go, here, why don't you hold that and then look at this
okay.
good.
I sure hope this works, Dr. All Thumbs.
Take a good firm hold of the syringe.
Will you be okay?
Oh, I'll be okay. I kept my malpractice insurance.
How about me? Will I be okay?
I hope so. But you see, can't turn the pages. I guess we'll just have to do it.
Oh,
Careful now.
there's
Why don't you take this off so I can.
oh. Be careful of my curlers.
This will be just a little.
But doctor, there's a fly. There's a fly here.
Okay, just be still. Be still. I'll try to get it. Okay. I'll be right back. We're going to get it fixed.
Okay.
All right. No problem. Let me take a look here now. Okay, go.
One thing to be sure, a little miscommunication. I meant I was going to tell a joke, but I am not the joke itself. But hey, whatever takes a laugh, it's all good, right? So my joke is about skunks. We all know what skunks are, right? Oh no? Okay, just making sure. Alright, so there's a family of skunks. A mommy and a daddy, and they have twins. Now the daddy is really good with carpentry. He actually has his own business. He works in pews. Okay, it's called Pews Unlimited, or PU for short. But he does very well with that, right? So he was out working there, and mom was home with the kids. The twins' names are In and Out. Okay, In and Out. So mom was making lunch. In and Out went outside to play. All good, right? So In and Out are both outside. Then Mama Skunk has to call them in for lunch. but only out came in, so in was still out. So to be clear, out is in is out. Okay? So Mama Skunk looks at out and says, oh, we need to go find your brother. Okay, so out goes outside to find his brother in. 5 seconds later, both out and in come inside. So now both out and in are inside. And Mama Skunk looks at out and says, how'd you find your brother so fast? Out said, easy, instinct.